Okay, friends. Let's start by giving our energy bodies a little bit of self-treatment. And so what we were saying just a moment ago is that everyone in this class has this particular situation, a pattern with their energy body. Rick, you do too. And to notice that pattern is to be able to deal with it mindfully. And the pattern is that we're continually seeing ourselves as smaller and less powerful or empowered than we are. It's not powerful, it's being a vessel for spirit. It's not our power, it's just being able to channel spirit. And so seeing ourselves as smaller than we are means that we're working inside of a small funnel when really we have the capacity to be a larger funnel. So noticing that we're not figuring it out. You see, by continually reaching outward, we're not reaching out remotely far enough. So we just acknowledge that and say, okay, that doesn't work. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but it's not working for anybody on this roster. And so we just acknowledge that and try something different, because doing the things that don't work over and over again, that's crazy. That doesn't make any sense. Let's mix it up. So visualize your pillar in front of you as if you were separate. You see that pillar, and now with your powerful energy hands, start way away, like bigger than the universe, and then come toward you, and you'll hit the outside of your pillar. You can press on it, you can feel it shifting. Yeah? There you go. And now start smoothing and sealing the edges of your pillar, all the way from source above to source below, all the way around the perimeter of your pillar, all the way around. Oh. Sealing the field, you see, sealing the field. And so we acknowledge the things. I'll be quiet. They said, we have a good idea. Why don't you be quiet? Are you guys feeling more stable? Better? Big difference, right? Huge difference. They would like for me, does anybody need more time? So they want to talk about some of the things that give rise to this phenomenon that we notice, where the edges of our energy bodies are not sealed. So a big part of that is not seeing ourselves as big as we are, you see, playing life too small. So we're not realizing that those margins are even there to be tended. We think we're tending our margins, but what we're tending is way inside of us. Who noticed that? What we were tending before, thinking it was our edges, was way inside of us, like not at the actual margins. That's one pattern. Another pattern is, it's really scary to listen to our guides and do what they say that we should do without checking into the future to see how it's going to turn out. So we just acknowledge that once people have the energy skills that you all have, it's a universal tendency to say, oh, I hear what you want me to do. Now let me just look ahead and see what's going to happen if I do that. And that puts a channel out into the future. You see, what we've just done is open a big trap door. Does that make sense? Boom! We just unsealed our pillar by looking into the future to see, you're telling me what to do. Okay, how's it going to look? Boom! We just did it to ourselves, you see? So we remember when we look in the future, let's say they're telling us to do a scary thing. And that scary thing, usually involves, let's say sending an email to Neil Donna Walsh and then posting it on my website. Okay? So how's that going to turn out? Maybe terribly, you see, maybe terribly. And so I don't want to really look into the future, do I? Because I know that that's the clear instruction and I'm just going to do it. Now, that means that something good will happen. Right? So to resist the temptation to look into the future, because that could be what's opening your doors and causing you to lose energy. And then we get shaky and we can't do what's ours to do. Does this make sense? Okay, so now seal again. Seal again. And notice that habit of looking into the future. Does it help us or hurt us? It can hurt us. It can hurt us. Because typically we don't look far enough, you see? We don't look far enough into the future. Or we look too far into the future. Like there's all kinds of things we can mess up there. And there's too many variables to figure it out. And wiser minds than ours have already figured it all out. We don't have to figure it out. We don't have to do a thing except listen up and follow directions. It's already been figured out. Okay. We're going to begin with a downward flow through the heart chakra. So it's coming at the heart chakra, but from a different angle. Does this make sense? Having the intention to open our heart chakra to universal presence, but opening up to draw this love into the heart. Just mixing it up, coming at it from another angle. Just align and draw into the heart. Very good, very good, very good. Continually drawing down, down, especially through the back of the heart chakra. There's a lot of wounds in the back of the heart chakra. Hurts from other things, you see, hurts from the past. Lodged in the back of the heart chakra. This is the universal experience. And so we don't say, oh, I don't have any hurts lodged in the back of the heart chakra. We say, all righty, I get that this is the universal experience. Now I'll clear mine. And for me and for all beings. Who feels something as they, yeah, isn't that great? Yeah, Bob shoveling it. I love you, Bob. Yeah. That's great. That's great. And now you can feel that love coming all the way through the heart chakra from source above to source below, right? Locking in. Thank you, thank you. And now we kind of draw our focus, still keeping our intention to flush the heart chakra, drawing the focus down to source below and opening up to that element of divine presence that comes to us from below. Does that make sense? So everybody stop too far, too soon, like doubling, like way, way, way deeper. How about this? Come at it from the underside. Like have the intention to come connect to beneath where source below is. Does that make sense? There. Wendy just got it. Yeah. There you go. Right? Oh. Flushing the back of the heart chakra. Yes? Yeah. Now, who needs more? Who would like more time? Especially focusing on that back left quadrant of the energy body, that part of the heart chakra. There we go. Letting source below flush it clear through the heart to source above. Yeah. That's better, right? So remember that trick of coming at things from the outside, that we're trying to reach down to source below. We think we've reached far enough, but we're just continually playing smaller than we actually are, you see, and so then we just come at it from a different angle, and then we realize, oh wow, what I thought was happening wasn't what was happening, because look, this is different. Does that make sense? So let's try it with source above too, like we just did with source below. Come at it from above, source above. Don't make up a story in our heads about what that means. Just space-time is flexible, you see. We can step outside. There we go. Wow, Wendy just got it. That's cool to watch you do that, honey. Yeah. Yeah. So, some of us have been experiencing lots of shakiness in our energy bodies this last couple weeks. This seems to be fundamentally what's been going on, is that we haven't been working with these anchors of source above and source below. We think we've been trying. You know, this isn't from a lack of trying or a lack of wanting. That's not what's going on. It's just from a lack of mixing it up enough, maybe. I don't know. From a lack of everything is being rethought. You see, this experiment that we're engaged in here is shaking things up multidimensionally. It really is. And so there's a lot of rethinking happening upstairs. There we go. So when we really connect in by coming at it from the outsides of our energy bodies, of our pillars, remember the goal is to be a pillar of light from source above to source below. That's the goal. And so we have to recognize when it isn't happening, something's going to feel funky. You see? And so who's had the shaky feelings recently? Probably all hands, right? I'm thinking. And so the shaky feelings come from not being anchored. It's like being in a boat in a hurricane, a little boat, a rowboat, in the center of the Atlantic, in the middle of a hurricane. Boom, boom, boom. Whoa. So it's because we aren't anchored, you see. And so first things first, seal our pillar, because until we seal that, it's a waste of time to connect to source above and source below, because it'll just leak out, right? Is anybody hung up on that? Right, it'll just leak out. And so first things first, seal our pillar, and we recognize it isn't working continually coming at it from the inside. It probably wouldn't work if we continually only came at it from the outside either. You see, we have to mix it up. But let's add what was missing. Yes? Then once it's sealed, the after picture, once it's sealed, now start with source below, because in the opening process, remember what we do is after we clear the heart, we drop down into that which is beneath us, because otherwise we get ungrounded, and usually that's already a problem, right? So knowing that we've been trying to reach down to get it, but it hasn't been working, so we mix it up, right? And just come at it from the outside. Does that make sense? Drawing that up to source above. Oh. Oh. Who feels crowns opening? Yeah. Yeah. Somebody said, that's a cool trick. one of our higher dimension observers. We have observers here. We have the teachers who we listen to, but we also have observers who are here, for other aspects of the divine plan that I don't need to know about. It's not my business. Drawing the focus up now, testing by coming from the outside as if we could reach above, source above, and coming from the outside. Remember, everything is flexible, infinitely flexible. This doesn't mean we're putting ourselves above source. Does that make sense? This just means we're figuring out where source actually is. Whoa, right? So